So this is Larry the Barberman at Champ's Barbershop here in Riding House Street in West London, and this evening we are going to do a review on what I consider to be the top 3 cordless trimmers. I'm here with Marc Republic from Philadelphia in America, a master barber by American standards, not by English standards, so we have no standards. And I'm here with Champ, who's a master barber in his own right, a warrior, a tiger and an artist. So we're going to get down to it. The 3 clippers we're going to review are the Wahl T Cut, SlimLine Pro Li, and also we're going to do the Detailer Cordless by Wahl. So let's kick off with the Wahl machine. Tell me about your experience with these, Marc.
Well, these are nice. I like the fact that they added a lever on the side, an adjustable lever on the side. That way you can kind of get it closer, and you can have it at different levels, based on your clients. You might have kids, you want to pull it back so the blade isn't that far, and you have like guys that want to get sharp, super sharp lines, and you can put it a little closer without having to take the blade off and adjust it and all these type of things. And it's a great clipper. I like the way it's designed. I'm not really a fan of how thick it is right here at the top, but there's other benefits to the clipper as far as it being cordless and having a lever on the side where I'll bypass that small thing that I don't like, and it's definitely something I'll keep on my station for sure.
Does this really make any difference though, that little lever? Because for me the movement is so minimal.
Well, some guys think it is. To me, I'm not really one to have like 2 or 3 different outliners. I just have one set, and I'll base who I'm cutting off, my touch off, the tension off, put on the skin. So some guys, it really depends on how heavy they're handed. If they feel like if they're very heavy handed, then they might need to pull it back. But for me, I'm not really that heavy handed, so I can go ahead and use it at a tight setting and still get my results regardless of who's in the chair.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great overall clipper. But I wish trimmer. I wish they would have made this a little darker, because I kind of like see this getting dirty or stained up in a couple weeks. But besides that, it's great.
Battery life, just before passing it on to Champ?
Oh, battery life is really good on it. Yeah, it's really good battery life. Once I work with cordless trimmers or clippers, I always plug them back in when I move on to my next portion of my haircut, just to keep everything fresh and charged up. So yeah, battery life is great.
Cool.
What can I say about this? I think, like you said, it's the movement in the blade is minimal, but I don't really feel that you can really get this as zero gapped as you would want to. Like as in getting it right up on just under the teeth and stuff, as we say, like one hair under the teeth, which is what leaves really nice sharp lines. So I've found that with this, because the blade, when you take it off, it just doesn't work. Again, for me, having worked with other trimmers, the size of it is it's quite fat, it's quite big in your fingers, and that again is when you're trying to go around the ears and doing like say moustaches and stuff, which is where you really want your trimmers to be quite nimble when you're using your fingers and stuff underneath your nose and stuff, but you need them to be nice and comfortable. I find that this was a bit big. Battery life is good in it, yeah, I mean it's a strong machine. It's like the Detailer is pretty efficient and stuff. But again, in comparison with other machines, I found that it was a little bit chunky, on the chunky side.
It's funny how we've only had trimmers for a few years, and before, many years ago, barbers had to do a whole haircut with a hair clipper.
Yeah, when I started cutting like 20 years ago, like I actually started with there was no trimmers. You used to turn around your clippers, and if your clippers were too zero gap, then you'd find that's where barbers would leave the teeth. But that's how you learn about touch and pressure on the skin. yeah, I remember those days, and I remember also the Wahl Sterling coming in and changing all the game.
The white Sterlings.
The white Sterling, yeah, and they were about for a long time before, you know, well, over here especially. I mean, I think that Andis made the T liner and that a long time ago, but it just wasn't available over here in this country. I remember getting one and bringing it over, trying to turn it on, it didn't work.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what scores would you give that as a cordless trimmer?
I'll give it a. I'm tough, man. I don't want to sound crucial, man. I'm kind of tough on stuff. I'll give it a 6.5. 6.5. The reason why is because, you know, the lever on the side, I'm not really sure if it's needed. It's really, you know, it feels kind of like cheesy, like it might not last a year. You know, we're barbers, we spend a lot of money on our tools. I don't really think this little lever on the side will last a year. You know, just sitting here playing, you know, so, and the way it feels in my hand, and like Champ, you know, for it to be a cordless trimmer, it should be a little thinner than what it is. It's almost the size of an adjustable clipper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it could be a clipper. If you had an arm on it, it could be a clipper.
Yeah, it could really be.
If you've got that little arm there, you might as well make it like a tiny little clipper.
Right, so yeah, I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay. Champ?
I'd give it a 6. Let's give it a 6.
Okay. There you go.
I really want to give it a 6, but I ain't want to say like I was signing out.
When you said 6.5, like good, because I'm going to give it a 6.
Right.
So we move on to the Andis SlimLine Pro Li.
These are something that you should have in your kit. When I first looked at these, I thought they were a joke, to be honest with you. The black ones, and then I seen these, and I thought they were a joke, but it was until I used them, my boy was like, yo, you gotta use them, trust me. And I was like, all right. And I brought 2 pairs because I didn't believe in the power, and I love them. You know, I love them a lot. The blade is small, but it's actually great because it allows you to get into those hard to reach places, and like Champ said, like when you want to get in your nose, you know, it's not that wide. You can actually get in there and you know, kind of get in there really tight without it affecting, or you know, what you want to do, or touching your client's nose or in different places. But it's a great clipper. I love it. Battery life is awesome. It feels great in your hand. You know, it almost feels like you don't have anything in your hand because it's so light.
Like a pencil.
Yeah, it's like a pencil, and it's just amazing that they have this much power and sharpness in this small clipper. So I love it.
Easy to zero gap as well.
Yeah, easy to zero gap, and like I said earlier, the button is placed properly. You know, so great clipper. Trimmer.
Yeah, I'll just strengthen that up a little bit, man. I mean, Marc showed me the black one, it's actually, I think it's a little bit smaller. Maybe it's to do with the battery or something. That's the actual one that I prefer. I just find that for some reason it's actually more nicer to hold in my hand, maybe because it's smaller or something. But I found that when the black one just cuts kind of like sharper for me. Again, you're doing like moustaches on a nice detail stuff on a beard. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Even like your nose hairs, you know, the older gentlemen, they can start getting a hairy nose and the hairy ears. This is nice when you're going in there, nice and nimble. Very, very sharp. You can zero gap it. Unbelievable. It's my go-to. Should have one. I would recommend even like, you know, like your hairdressers and stuff, like, you know, it's not just a barbering tool. I've seen at the hair shows a lot of ladies buying these and that, which I can understand why. Battery life is very, very strong. Again, I mean, this is just like kind of like the upgrade on the black one, but for some reason I find that the black one I preferred it a little bit more. Yeah, great tool. Get one. Yeah.
You're going to kick off the scoring, Marc?
Yes, this is I give it 8.5.
Well, and that's saying something for you because you're quite mean on the scoring.
Yeah, I give it 8.5. I love it. It's a great clipper.
Yourself, champ?
I'd say an 8. I'd give it an 8.
Okay, so that's got some big scores for a little trimmer.
Yeah.
And the last one is the Wahl T Cut. Yeah,
The Wahl T Cut.
Yeah.
These trimmers, you know,
German blade, German precision.
German precision.
There you go.
You know, at first glance, to me, they look like they don't look like they're for professional use. To me, you know, from time to time, clipper companies come out with clippers, and they just kind of throw them out there in the market. But these don't look like they're professional clippers. So, you know, not to discriminate, but before I would even buy it, I wouldn't feel too confident with buying it based on how it looks visually. It does feel like it has a little power when you turn it on. The blade is definitely moving quite fast. Doesn't feel too bad on my hand, but you know, I'm not sure how it will work would it last a year? You know, and I don't think this would last a year.
But you say that, you know, when you look at we've just scored the SlimLine Pro at 8.5, and that as well, let's be honest, does look like and feel like a joke until it performs.
True. So I haven't used this for a long time, but I will have to use it, you know, longer to give it a fair scoring in comparison to other clippers. Like the other two, well, the Andis, I had those for like 3 years. You know, the black ones, and the newer ions, or the newer version, and they didn't really let me down. But I have to, you know, play with them a little longer, see how I feel about them. But the button is comfortable right here, like I said. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, this kind of like this T design, I would say, reminds me kind of like of the Oster. What was that? What's the name of that one? It's a trimmer also.
Oh, the T finisher.
Yeah.
T finisher.
The T finisher. That's right. Yeah, and I remember having that. With regards to like zero gap in it and getting it tighter, I'm not too sure. I don't think you can. I think when I tried it, I couldn't get it any closer. It just wouldn't. The way it's built in. I don't know how they've put it in, but there's no way of getting it zero gapped. When I'm using it on the shop floor, I guess like the battery life, it's pretty good, and it charges pretty fast. In the hand, it feels nice. I've got to say it does, because it's nice and small, nice and nimble again. But when it came to sharpness and leaving precision lines and doing design stuff on a beard, or leaving a moustache nice and clean, and even your edges, I mean, I don't know, I don't know, it didn't really do me justice. I didn't think it was leaving my work sharp enough, and I don't. Once the machine does that to me, I don't, you know, it goes in the cupboard. So,
it's funny because it has got a very similar blade to the T finisher by us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's when I saw it, I thought, let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. I'm like that. I like to try it. If I see a machine, I don't care what it looks like. I'll just get it and try it out. And some people think I'm crazy because the amount of machines that I've got in the cupboard and that. But you never know when you could use them, or someone that will, you know, someone coming along. Up and coming barbers, I give them gifts and stuff and say, here man, you know, work with this, you know.
Right.
And yeah, because like an up and coming barber that doesn't know about pressures and stuff, like, you know, they might put too much pressure on, and then, you know, you give them something sharp, they could be cutting up a customer, and that's not good, or a kid or an older person. So, you know, maybe for you, like, your beginners barbers and stuff, it might be good, you know. But for my work, it just, I don't know, man. Battery is very strong, and it did charge very, very fast. I found that every time. I was like, you know, won't let you down, but it's a little bit
So you will reiterate what I said as far as like you don't really think it's for professional use.
I mean, yeah, you can use it, but then, you know, softer work, I guess, you know. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some people like say maybe just like a natural line and stuff. Then yeah, it's nice for that. You can get away with that. But if someone says to me, "Hey, give me a crispy shape up and leave my line up real sharp and that, because I want to feel real sharp and that," like, you're gonna have to go over and over with it, because I found that the hair wasn't catching right and strong, and I found that, you know, I might as well just get my blade out and do it, you know.
I give it a 6.5.
Best cordless trimmers, and it seems like the Andis SlimLine Pro Li came out the winner with an 8.5 and a 9 from what I recall. Again, thank you Champ, thank you Mark, that's been a wealth of information for all the viewers on barbers that want to make a buying decision on any one of these free clippers. So I thank you guys again. I hope you guys out there find it helpful, and if you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.